And today, talking about his walk across Africa. If it's your first time tuning in and checking out this live, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing?
I am currently walking the continent of Africa for mental health awareness. I'm, struggling myself with not right now the second, but over the broad course of my life, I struggle with depression from bipolar disorder, and walking helps. And I wanted to bring awareness to that, so I'm walking from Cape Town, South Africa, all the way to the northern tip of Africa. Which I haven't decided yet if it's going to be Morocco or Tunisia. A lot will depend on the visa situation in Algeria. I also had an idea that I was going to maybe go into Europe after, but I'll see that by play that by ear. In the meantime, I'm about 2,500 miles in, and I am in Luanda, Angola.
So that's pretty far. How's your body holding up through this?
Well, I'll show you guys. I have like these like shoes that are they've lost their supportiveness, or their support, because I've been wearing them for the last like 1,500 miles as I've walked from Windhoek to Luanda, and it like the my heels are super sore. My arches of my feet, my hips are very tight, and yeah, the body was breaking down for a little bit, but I've been stuck actually in Luanda for like 3 weeks, because I got robbed at gunpoint, and they took some important documents, and I needed to get those mailed to me from the U.S., and I needed to wait on a visa, so I'm just stuck here.
So tell me a little bit about this being robbed. Did it seem like it was calculated or opportunistic, or?
100% opportunistic. These guys were sitting on a stoop playing on their phone, and I walked by them, and they quickly ran up into like a alleyway, grabbed a gun, and came back and pointed it at my face. It was like,
Oof.
uh-oh, white guy on his phone looking at directions. I'm gonna steal this guy.
Oof.
Yeah, and it
So,
sucked. It sucked because it was like I was a little bit like they didn't know what they were doing. Obviously,
mm,
they had the gun like in my face, and then I like kind of pushed one of the guys away, which was like little dumb. But then he was like trying to figure out like how to cock the gun after that. Like,
mm.
yeah,
So, what all did they get from you? Your phone? What else?
they got my iPhone, they got my cards, and they got some cash. But which is tough because I've been unable to spend money here for like a couple weeks. I've got a couple of gifts from like companies that have been interested in sponsoring me, and some people have helped me out in the area that have given me some cash to like buy food and stuff. But for the most part, I've just been like trying not to spend money.
So walk me through like what happens next. Like you get robbed at gunpoint in a foreign country, super scary, and now you just have nothing. You got no phone, no cards. Like where do you go from there?
Well, I went to the U.S. Embassy, and they weren't the most helpful in the world. I sat outside the embassy for like a few hours in the rain, and they're like, "Okay, like, did you file a police report?" I was like, "No." Like, what are they gonna do? Like, it's a city of almost 10 million people,
Oh
and
wow.
the Find My iPhone app is like it's not locating it within the last 10 hours, so it could be anywhere. Um, and then they're like, "Okay, well, you should have filed a police report." I was like, "Okay, thanks. Now what are we gonna do about this?" And they're like, and I was like, "Okay, cool." They didn't really know what to do. So I went to the Democratic Republic of Congo embassy because that's like my next stop, and I needed to get a visa there, and it was like they denied me, so I'm like stuck here. But I was able to get some cards mailed in. I was able to talk to someone who's in the Democratic Republic of Congo that maybe can send me a visa, and just like waiting on that. So it's just like a lot of sit and wait, it's everything's closed because it's the holidays, it's Christmas, it's going to be New Year soon. So I was supposed to have the visa on the 24th, and they were closed, and then I was supposed to have it on 26th, it's closed. Now it was also closed today. I don't know when it's going to open. I asked the security guard every day, and he goes, "Oh no, they're open." So I walk upstairs. I was like, "No, dude, they're closed." He goes, "Oh, my bad."
So were you able to get another phone?
So what I have was I have my I brought two phones with me. I bought like a newer iPhone to like film because I was doing the content creator stuff before I left for my trip in Africa. and then I brought my old one, which is super inefficient. Like it has a locked SIM, so it can't. The only way I can use it overseas is if I'm connected to Wi-Fi or if it's like data roaming, which is expensive as hell. But it's the only one I got now.
Gotcha. Um, so tell us a little bit about the city. Like, I'm surprised to hear that it's 10 million people. Like, what? I mean, kind of explain a little bit, paint the picture for the people watching.
Okay, so it's a little bit. It's a huge city. Like I said, it's about the last census was 10 years ago. It was 9.5 million. So it's probably bigger than that now. The census is going to come out pretty soon. It's going to be 10.5, 11. It's the capital. It's the biggest city in the country. It's one of the 15 biggest cities in the world. It is not my favorite city. There's some crime. There's some danger. There is some. There's like a lot of like trash, like a lot of it. Um, but there's some nicer areas. There's some high rises. There's a huge gap, right? So like some areas of the town are super rich. There's some ocean, which is pretty. Most of the areas though are pretty poor and not very well taken care of. And you can see really that there is like a wealth disparity between the haves and the have-nots. So there's probably this is the area I've been to where there's been the most begging.
Oh well.
Yeah, so, like, if I the second I leave my, like, my apartment that I'm staying at, which I was lucky enough to get gifted, because, a company working with is talking about sponsoring me. On my way to the store, I received, like, no fewer than 15 people come up to me and ask me for money, and it's like a 5-minute walk. So,
Oh wow.
it it's I don't know, but it is on the water, so there are some pretty elements too, but that was sort of a stark contrast to where I've been to where, yeah, there's just like a lot of have-nots.
Okay. That's and then so how far from the border of the next country are you from the DR Congo?
Okay, so I have 400 more kilometers to walk until I reach the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is like 12 days. If I'm doing 30 kilometers a day, that is, uh, let's see, yeah, 12 days, and then to walk through the Congo, like probably another 12 days. So I'll be in and out of that country within 2 weeks, the second I can get my visa. But that one's probably the most dangerous country I'm going to pass on the whole journey,
It
which
sounds
is
like you're trying to just get through that country.
yeah, as quick as possible. There's actually like civil conflict on the eastern side of the country. It's such a big country. It's kind of shaped like this, and I'm
Yeah.
crossing through the thin part, and then over here there's civil conflict. So, not trying to stay in there too long, not trying to dilly dally, just trying to get through it.
And then, what language do they speak where you're at now? And then, what language do they speak there?
Okay, so right now we're speaking Portuguese, and then in Angola, and then the next one will be French in the Democratic Republic of.
I wouldn't have guessed French. Okay, I get it, but that wouldn't have been my first guess.
Most of the remaining countries I walk through will speak French, like a high percentage.
Okay,
Like they were colonized by France way back when.
wow. So, um, do you have any leads on like places to stay or anything in the next country and then on your next kind of few weeks?
Honestly, like social media is such a lifesaver for me. Like I post videos every day and I promote that, and then people will text me or direct message me and say like, when you get here, you can stay with me. And so cities, I'm usually pretty good. Although there's not a lot of overlap in country to country. Like my videos are like if you look at the percentage of people following me in each country, it's like a huge percentage in South Africa and Namibia because I've been through there, a pretty good percentage in Angola, and surprisingly a decent percentage in Nigeria. But there's like nobody yet in the Democratic Republic of Congo because Instagram hasn't and TikTok haven't started pushing my videos there because I'm not there yet. And
Yeah,
so, like, no one in the DRC even knows I'm going. And so, once I get there, hopefully my videos will get boosted. People will be like, come here. But in the meantime, I might just have to tent camp at like police stations because it's a little less safe.
gotcha. I mean, it totally makes sense. I was just in Hawaii. I told you, and when I got there, I popped up TikTok just out of curiosity. Every third reel, whatever, was like what to do in Hawaii, what to do in Oahu. We're doing this. And I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, Hawaii is or TikTok has a way of forwarding your. So actually, the TikTok thing was interesting because I almost didn't like I didn't post on TikTok for like 10 of my videos because I was over it. I was getting like 800 views per video like for months. I was like, I'm tired of this. And then the
Hmm.
second I got to Namibia, I posted and I was getting like 50 to 70,000 per video. I was like, oh, and they were all Namibians. They were like, come stay with me. And it actually was a huge lifesaver because like I'd be walking on the side of the road, I'd be running out of water, and they'd be like, I saw you on TikTok. And then from that point forward, it's been more consistent.
I bet you that like maybe even country to country, culturally, like maybe some are more on Instagram, some are more on TikTok, some are more on YouTube. So,
Yeah, the I there's less social media in Angola, and because there's just less smartphones
mm,
that I've known. So even though and even though I'd be surprised to find out the stats on this, but in Namibia there's like two no there's 3 million people, and then in Angola there's like 40 million. But I bet it's pretty comparable the amount of smartphones and
mm,
social media users is in the two countries because Namibia
oh
is much
well,
more developed.
wow. So do you have any like plans if you were to get stuck up at gunpoint again? I guess you can't really do anything.
Uh, well, I've lost my phone, so they can't like whoever sticks me up at gunpoint next will get like the bargain stuff, you know. So I honestly feel bad a little bit for them. It's like, oh, you're gonna get like less quality stuff. No, no, just like at that point, you're just trying not to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying your best. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Did I forgot to turn messaging on this? Did
I don't know. I
Can
haven't
you
seen
see?
anybody comment.
Oh, oh well. So yeah, no. If as long as I get not shot, it's a win. If I get held up at gunpoint, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't carry the phone. I don't really. Okay. For your journey, help you get through DRC. Yes. Thanks, Jarek. The DRC is, I think, by far the most dangerous place I'm going to go through. I mean, there's different types of danger. South or Cape Town had some danger, but I got out of that pretty quickly. And then, like the Sahara Desert has like just natural dangers of not having water and food for long stretches of time.
gotcha.
So yeah, so like as far as like human danger, yeah, DRC I think by far is the most dangerous. Um oh yeah, you knew S Jota. Yeah, we I hung out with him in Lubango. So Lubango is a city in southern Angola, which is in my opinion the prettiest place in Angola. It's got 3 million people, it's clean, it's beautiful, great place.
So my last question before I let you go here is tell me about Christmas.
Oh, actually, it was so like the day itself was fine. Okay, so I went to I had like um I had a person reach out to me on Instagram, and then I went to their school because they were Portuguese living in Angola as a teacher and a banker. Like the wife was a banker, the husband was a teacher, and they invited me to dinner. We were friendly. We did that whole thing, and then we went to um like I went to his school and I spoke to his class, and that was nice. And they invited me over for Christmas dinner, so I was like, oh, this would be fun because I don't know if you can see, but I'm like alone in an apartment by myself, which is like kind of depressing on the holidays. But I went to their house, and it was supposed to be, or at least as far as I understood, it was supposed to be Christmas dinner. And I was there, it was like 45 minutes away. Got there at like 6 p.m. All of a sudden, it's like 9, 10, 10:30, 11, 12. And it's like, when am I coming back? And then they're like, all right, you're going to sleep here. I was like, oh, which was like fine. But like, I didn't have like a toothbrush or any of that, or a spare change of clothes. Like, I was just like, I guess this is what's happening. And then, so I stayed there. Then we were there the whole next day until like 8 p.m. So it was super nice. We had like Christmas. They got me some chocolate, which was awesome for a present. But and then when I came back, the second I've been back, I've just been like chilling in an empty apartment, waiting on a visa. So that's been kind of tough.
Do you have
Uh,
an estimated timeline on the visa?
on December 19th, they said 2 to 3 days, and here we are on the 27th. Hey, and DC, watching from Nairobi, Kenya. Asante sana kuniona kwa hivyo.
You're not going
Uh,
through Kenya, right? It's on the other side.
no, I'm going through. Um, I'm going west. I was originally going to go through Kenya, but that like Sudan is in full blown war, and I wouldn't be able to finish my trip because South Sudan. You could go around it to South Sudan, but it's actually very like they don't. It's super hard to get in. It's expensive. The visa. It's dangerous. It's and they don't let you film without a permit that takes like a year to apply for. So even if you're just like holding your phone, they'll take it from you. The cops will.
Wow.
Have
Wow.
you? There's a guy called the Indigo Traveler. Great content on YouTube where he like travels. He's got like at least 1 million followers, I think. And he uh, he did a video in South Sudan, and he had to apply for a permit, and it took him a year to get like the filming
Wow.
permit.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So okay. So here's a question for you. So you've been watching my journey. You've been seeing where I've been, what I've been thinking about doing. Does this make you any more or less likely to want to travel to Africa? Have you
Way
considered?
more.
You've never been way more.
Yeah.
You've never been to Africa, right?
No.
Okay, so we have some Africans watching the channel right now. Where would you go of the places that either a place that I've been or a place I haven't been? Where would you go?
Namibia for sure. It just seemed like such a cool country, and people just they seem to love you there, and they just seem so nice and giving and welcoming.
Yeah, Namibia was super dope. Loved it there. Uh,
Even the
and in
comments are like, "Come back to Namibia. What are you doing?"
yeah, no, Namibians are great. It's I've never been to a more welcoming country, where you go there and they're just like happy that you're telling their story. Like I was just pointing cameras around and being like, "I'm doing this. This country's great," and they'd be like, "Yes, tell everyone we're great."
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, so that's cool. Then I'll be able. The plan is to do more of these conversations on Friday. So I'm going to be doing YouTube lives on Sunday with adventurous guests as part of like a podcast.
Okay.
Um, I'm doing them on Instagram right now, but I'm transferring them over to YouTube because it's usually easier to like the live quality is better.
Okay.
Then I'll be talking to Cam on Fridays if it the works out.
Cool. Yeah. Fridays will be good for me. The time will fluctuate a little bit, but are usually around this time.
Okay, yeah, whenever works for you. Cam had a late night last night, so I'll dip and let him go back to sleep.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you. We'll see you on Sunday for your next live, and then next Friday also.
All right, take care. Thanks for joining in.
Bye.